Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTube community, depending on where you are at on the globe. It is Josh, and today we're going to talk about how to read the U.S. Constitution. And as you can see, I've got a very special shirt for the occasion. At the bottom, it reads The American Dream. And we have 5 prominent members of the liberal hypocritical crap party on it, pictured in the perfect garments that they should be wearing. In case you don't know who they are, if you're younger and you're just catching this video, I'm going to go ahead and identify all of them from left to right on your screen. We have Barack Hussein O'Hitler, who forced Obamacare down our throats, just like Hitler did in Nazi Germany with government mandated health care in Germany. We have the psycho drunk Nancy Pelosi. Then we have Miss Hillary Clinton, who has a desire to kill just like Hitler did, and talks about how it takes a village to raise a child, or we need to do what's good for the state and not what's good for ourselves, and sounds just like Hitler. Oh, then we have Kamala, the whore, slept her way to the top. Her Carfax vehicle history report probably reads warning, odometer discrepancy, mileage has exceeded mechanical limits, and her husband's marriage vows probably somewhere included I shall turn this hoe into a housewife. And then, of course, we have the biggest joke in North America. That would be Joe Biden. Now, the reason we're doing this video today on how to read the Constitution is it's a document that was historically written in 1776, starting with the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence. And our founding fathers were pretty wise. It does use a lot of legal jargon. So, as we get started, okay, you'll notice I do have some pages pulled up, including dictionary.com, if we need to use a dictionary to find out what the terms mean. Okay, now we're going to start with the Supremacy Clause current doctrine. This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in the pursuance thereof, see, there's the legal jargon, and all treaties made, treaties are laws, okay, or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, well, that would be the United States federal laws, shall be the supreme law of the land. And the judges in every state, i.e., state, notice state, not countries around the world, state. So that this is a clause designed to show that federal laws supersede state laws, shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary are notwithstanding. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Bill of Rights. The First Amendment. The First Amendment provides several rights and protections to express ideas through speech and the press, to assemble and gather with a group to protest for other reasons, and to ask the government to fix problems. Well, we can eliminate that part, because anybody thinks the government can fix anything needs to remember what they did to the gas can. But it is in there. Okay, it also protects the right to religious beliefs and practices. This is at an individual level, by the way, folks. This is every U.S. citizen, not the illegal immigrants that Biden's illegally flying in, that Ron DeSantis is thankfully busing up to Delaware and to Kamala Harris's residence in Martha's Vineyard, because we at least have one governor trying to do something about it. All right, but U.S. citizens at an individual level. It prevents the government from creating or favoring a religion. Well, believe me, the way they're acting, they don't. Well, they definitely don't believe in religion, because I know one thing: God and Jesus Christ wouldn't be $31 trillion in debt. Okay, this is my favorite, the Second Amendment. Okay, the Second Amendment protects the right to keep and bear arms. It also includes the words shall not be infringed in the U.S. Constitution. So we're going to go to dictionary.com and see what infringed means. Infringed. To encroach or trespass, usually followed by on or upon. Now, to encroach something means you are violating it, which is also covered up here in this verb. To commit a breach or infraction of, violate or transgress. That would pretty much mean, now I'm not a lawyer or a judge, okay, I'm not on the Supreme Court, I'm just Josh Howard here, I'm just reading the words as they're written on the paper. that to me, going with the supremacy clause, that means like me needing a permit to carry a concealed weapon in the state of Ohio, unconstitutional. Me not being allowed to own a firearm because I have an open mental health case in Trumbull County, unconstitutional. Why? Because those are infringing upon my rights to keep and bear arms. But for those who don't know history, Hitler did the same thing in Nazi Germany. He took away all their guns. Are we seeing a pattern here yet, folks? Hitler also went ahead and was very against religion and God and everything else. All right, the Third Amendment. Now, I'm not too worried about this one because I happen to appreciate our U.S. military, okay, and a lot of our U.S. military don't even like our government anymore. And not so much they don't like the government, they're like me, they don't like what the government is doing. Okay, let's get that clear so I got the right words. The Third Amendment prevents government from forcing homeowners to allow soldiers to use their homes. Before the Revolutionary War, laws gave British soldiers the right to take over private homes. Okay. The Fourth Amendment, another one of my favorites. This is one that the NSA, the CIA do not respect at all. Edward Snowden is an example of that, and I'm betting these assholes over at the NSA watching this fucking video right about now are wishing they were dealing with him instead of me, but while they grit their teeth because I know they're watching, because they can't do shit to me because they know I got cameras in my house. The Fourth Amendment bars. Notice the word bars there. We're going to pull that up on dictionary.com. The government from unreasonable search and seizure of an individual or their private property. Well, I'm thinking that would include illegally tapping into people's emails and phones like they did with Verizon. I would think that would eliminate snooping on Facebook and different forms of social media illegally, since these are members of law enforcement. Now, I realize people put this stuff out there publicly, but what reason would the NSA have for investigating people who aren't doing anything wrong? Now, when I'm making fun of Joe Biden for being a hypocrite and a liar, one, I'm speaking truthfully. Two, we've just covered in the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, I'm allowed to do it. And there ain't a damn thing anybody can do about it because federal law says I'm allowed to do it. Okay? But the almighty government doesn't like people doing that. You know who else didn't like that? Hitler. Hitler didn't like people speaking out against what he was doing truthfully. Are we seeing a pattern yet, folks? In case people are wondering about the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution, I recommend that you Google search what is PRISM surveillance. The feds and the NSA have been pissing all over our Fourth Amendment rights for years since Bush Jr. Okay, now, what happens when you bar something? Oh, interesting. Switch to the NSA listening to your phone calls. How convenient. All right, infringed. Bars. Let's see if it comes up as a verb. Verb, to use, used with object, barred or barring. To equip or fasten with a bar or bars. No, that wouldn't be barring. Oh, to block by or as if by bars. The police barred the exits in an attempt to prevent thieves' escape. So let's go back to the Bill of Rights. Bars the government from unreasonable search and seizure. So that means the Fourth Amendment prevents them from doing what they're doing to me and many others. Okay, Fifth Amendment. Well, we're going to skip this one. You know why we're going to skip this one? Because every fucking criminal, including all the ones in the government, already know what this one is. That would be the one where they have the right to shut the fuck up until a lawyer's present so they don't have to admit their guilt, which gives them an opportunity to work out a plea bargain with the prosecutor. The Sixth Amendment provides additional protections to people accused of crimes, such as the right to a speedy and public trial, trial by an impartial jury in criminal cases, and to be informed of criminal charges. So, see, when you get charged or convicted of a crime in the U.S., federal law says anybody can be informed of it. That's why I don't hide the fact that I have a criminal trespass, a shitload of speeding tickets on my driving record, or an aiding, abetting, runaway charge, because anybody can find this information on me. I have nothing to hide here. You want to know I got a past with the law? That's right. Why do you think I know so much about the laws? Because I made the mistake of breaking them and being held accountable. Well, maybe once we start holding our government accountable for the laws they trample all over while expecting us to abide by them, maybe they'll learn the lesson too. I don't know. It's a mystery. But until we get some people willing to do something about it, we may not find out. Okay, then we got the Seventh Amendment. The Seventh Amendment extends the right to a jury trial in federal civil cases. Okay, so there's, I guess that'd be kind of important given the severity of the situation to myself. I don't plan on taking them to court or doing anything other than making fun of them for the futility of their actions. I make $31,000 a year before taxes. I live in a rundown house that needs more in repairs than what the property's worth. I got a car payment. And at the end of the day, we know they're just jealous of my fucking credit score. Because I pay my bills on time and they don't. But the Eighth Amendment bars excessive bail and fines and cruel and unusual punishment. Well, that's kind of vague. I guess that's kind of up to a judge. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer or a judge. Personally, I wouldn't mind using the whole public tarring and feathering of corrupt politicians myself because it doesn't kill them. It's not cruel and unusual. It does inflict a lot of pain and it humiliates them. But the Eighth Amendment might actually protect them against that. So we're not going to be allowed to do that. The Ninth Amendment states that listing specific rights in the Constitution does not mean that people do not have other rights that have not been spelled out. And that's an interesting one because that means we actually have some rights that the Constitution may not grant us that are kind of just inherent, like the freedom to shop where we want, work where we want, not have the government control everything we do and watch and say, kind of like communist China or Nazi Germany with Hitler. Are we seeing a pattern yet? The founding fathers were very wise, very wise. And then we have the 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment says that the federal government only has those powers delegated in the Constitution. If it isn't listed, it belongs to the states or the people. Well, you know all those state laws that all the states have concerning gun control? If the Second Amendment isn't enough to rule those unconstitutional, the 10th Amendment doubles down on that fact because the Second Amendment would be a federal law. Imagine that. Gee, I wonder how much my mom would be up in heaven right now as far as how she used to tell everybody we were going to communism in this country. Now, to finish up the video, I'm going to go ahead and play a song on YouTube. It is one of my favorite songs. It is by Tim Hawkins. It is about 3 minutes long, so just bear with me here, folks. It is titled The Government Can. He wrote this during the Obama administration, might I add. Dismiss on that. I've never heard of any of those. So we're going to skip the ad. Oh, I got to restart it. I was already playing it earlier at another time. Doesn't he sound like Bernie Sanders? They mix it up with lies and make it all taste good. Just remember, folks, every day when you wake up, okay, you can get on this computer, you can open that Bible and learn from history. Or you can turn on that TV and trust the almighty government. But you know what you can't do? You can't do both. Thanks for watching.